A Republican congressman just introduced a new constitutional amendment to allow Donald Trump to serve for a third term.
Donald Trump's talking about a third term again.
In an interview with NBC this weekend, he said that he is not joking about running for a third term, and that there are methods to go around the Constitution which currently prohibits more than 2 terms.
If Donald Trump is allowed to run for a third term under the Republican ticket, I think Obama should be allowed to run for a third term under the Democratic ticket. What do you guys think? Yes? No? Maybe? I think so. And not in like a get out way, but I will vote for him a third time.
Barack Obama could be our next president. I'm not kidding. This can actually happen.
If that orange crusty blowhole thinks he can run for a third term, then Obama should just throw his hat in the ring. If nothing, just to fuck with him. But I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, he would crush him at the polls. But don't squash my dream. A girl can hope. Let me have it.
In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. Obama was able to get across a health care bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better.
Y'all keep talking about wanting Trump to run for a third term, not knowing if y'all open up that can of worms, Obama's not gonna have a choice. Michelle's not gonna let him have a choice because all of us motherfuckers are gonna be at his fucking door. Hey, we need you. Bruh. Y'all want Trump to run for a third term? Okay, Obama's his opponent. Obama's his opponent, because I can guarantee you who's gonna win that election. Ain't no fucking fraud or Russia intelligence needed.
Trump has made no secret of the fact that he wants to change the Constitution and run for a third term. But he wouldn't just automatically win if he ran for a third term. He'd have to run against a Democratic challenger. And if the Constitution no longer prohibited a third term, who would the Democrats' best option be? Barack Obama. And a poll was just released that showed this hypothetical matchup, Trump versus Obama. Who do you think won? Unsurprisingly, Obama wins by 6%, which is actually a blowout margin. And if you look closer at the data, Obama does this by 2 things. 1 is by winning independents by about 20%, and 2 is by stealing a bunch of votes from people who voted for Trump in 24 but would vote for Obama in 28. And this all adds up because in 2016, there were between 6 and 9 million people who voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012 and then voted for Trump in 2016. So in my opinion, change the Constitution. Good luck. The best modern-day American president with the highest approval rating of any living president against an 82-year-old Donald Trump. I like our chances.
I genuinely miss Obama being president.
I miss when he was in office and it just felt like we had hope.
So I heard Trump is selling 2028 merch, right? So yeah, you want to do that? You want to do that? We're going to do this. Let's go. We got the antidote. We got the antidote right here. Let's go. Let's do it. Because you want to run again when you know you're not supposed to run another term. You already run 2 terms. So might as well let Obama run another term too, right? It's only right since you want to run another term. But let's go. We're going to summon Obama. We're going to bring in Obama. We're going to have another president who's in office two times. Now we're going to have him a third. Since you want to have him a third, since y'all want to have him for another third term, we're going to have him. And let's see how far we go. Let's see. Let's do this. Because I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready for this man to come back again. We've been dying to have this man become president again. So let's go. That is.
Do you think President Trump can run for a third term? Should he, and would you support him?
Well, as a Republican, I and many would not be open to the idea of Barack Obama running for a third term. And so I think the folks have to be careful here if you're starting to question the constitutionality of this.
He's scared. He talking about B.O. like he Voldemort. He talking about Barack Obama like he shook. I know Republicans be in the group chat talking about Barack Obama like he think he Tupac, right? This is very interesting. That's Representative Mike Lawler, I believe, from New York. And instead of leading with the fact that Donald Trump and this whole three-term nonsense that he's thrown out there, in my opinion, to really get the smokescreen off the signal stuff, right? He leads with his fear, his deep, dark fear of Barack Obama possibly getting a third term. That's the deterrence here, right? And I appreciate his honesty. I really, truly do. But God damn it, why are you boys so shook? Now, this goes to why I think Barack Obama, not to his fault, is a reason we're in this. Meaning that I don't think Barack Obama did anything to these people. But I don't know if it's the racial element mixed with the fact that I guess they perceive them as extremely progressive. If you ask most leftist people, they don't see Barack Obama. They see Barack Obama more as a centrist type of person, politician. But their fear and their freaking obsession with that time ran them to this orange clown as a savior, right? Not only the politicians, but as well as the voters, right? The white voters that Barack Obama is the reason why we're all divided. No, he's one of the most popular presidents ever, and for whatever reason, you lot are trying to twist it or something else. But anyway, I say all that to say, don't worry guys, we're all safe. We have a fail-safe in place. And if you want to try it, try it. If you want to go three-term, try it. Give it a shot if you dare. Ball up top.
The media has been buzzing all day about Trump saying that running for a third term would be legal. The real media buzz should be about when Obama will declare his candidacy for 2028. Do you also agree that he should wear his tan suit for all 1,460 days of his third term?
He's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is. But
at the appropriate time, they're going to tell you. So just sit back, relax, and wait for them to screw you.
Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off.
See how he slipped up there and said, you can tell by the way he's pulled this off. It's Bannon and the ones behind Trump that are pushing this through. Trump is, as he just said, a vehicle, not of divine will, but of their regime, of their policies, of what they want to push down America's throats.
We need to finish what we started.
Again, Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, and the cronies behind Trump that are pulling the strings. They're the ones that are going to continue to finish what they started. And just know, they're not joking. This is real. They will push him in for a third term. So, I don't know. Let's start Obama 2028, I guess.
There's this other story. I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Oh, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that.
First of all, he can't be president again. That doesn't mean he won't try. But even for people who didn't vote for him, that doesn't appeal to me. That this is the smartest thing you can say. Look.
I mean, honestly, I was never worried that he was going to run for 3 terms. I mean, he's like the master troll. I mean, he must love just Trump 28 throwing out the hats, and it's just mess. And then if he does try to run for a third term, that makes Obama eligible. And then, isn't America really wanting that to finally settle that anyway? Who actually wins? Because I don't know, but that's just not going to happen. But
I mean, first of all, he could do it. I mean, when I talked to him, he did, and I've heard him say it on other occasions, but he did say vaguely, there's a way you could do it.
Mr. Mark, is President Trump eligible to run for president again in 2028?
Senator, without considering all the facts and looking at everything, depending on what the situation is, this to me strikes as more of a hypothetical of something that could be.
It's not a hypothetical. Has President Trump been elected president twice?
President Trump has been certified the President of the United States 2 times.
Is he eligible to run for a third term under our Constitution?
I would have to review the
All I need to tell you
wording of
is
it.
the language of the constitutional amendment that makes it clear that no, he is not eligible to run for a third term. Anybody else brave enough to say that the Constitution of the United States prevents President Trump from seeking a third term? Anybody willing to apply the Constitution by its plain language in the 22nd Amendment? Nobody.
Trump versus Obama. 2028. Watch this.
There's this other story. I know it's hypothetical right now.
Okay.
But if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama?
You know they are.
I'd love that.
For his third term?
I'd love that. That
What
would
you say, Trump?
be a good
You
one.
love
I'd
that,
like
but hey,
And
he said, come on
people
with
are
it.
asking me to run, and there's a whole story about running for a third term. I don't know. I never looked into it.
I don't know
They do
about
say
that now.
there's a
Hold
way
on.
you can do it, but I don't know about.
Woo, hey, man, hey, I just want to know, though, if this was able to happen, and damn what he said, because trust me, I promise you, he didn't look into it. But hey, regardless, if this was able to happen, and I already heard rumors that they are trying, Mega's definitely trying to do this, and I heard that the Democrats said, hey, if they do this, we're going to get Obama. But I want to know, if this happened, who do y'all think would win? I mean, I'm just seriously. I mean, I already heard Michelle say she don't want Obama to win again. She don't want him to do it again. She thinks that we should keep getting new brains, new ideas, new people to come in there because the world is changing that much and that fast. I kind of agree with her. But if that was possible, who do you think would win? Let me know in the comments.
Trump obviously doesn't care what the Constitution says about running for a third term because no matter what the issue is, voting rights, birthright citizenship, war, tariffs, Trump never cares about the Constitution.
She says the Constitution gives me certain rights, and I demand that I be given these rights. Get the hell out.
You do not feel like you need guardrails.
No, I don't need guardrails. I don't want guardrails. Guardrails would hurt us. They say it's not constitutional, but I think it would be good.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know.
You don't know? He doesn't know? Upholding the Constitution was like 90% of your oath of office, okay? And the other 10% was your name. Trump's blatant disregard for the Constitution is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. And I've seen Rachel Dolezal's OnlyFans. But you don't even need to hear any of that to know he plans to stay in office. All you need to hear is him talking about his big, beautiful ballroom. Do you seriously think he's building that for the next guy? You think he likes J.D. Vance that much? You think he's doing that level of solid for Marco Rubio? No. On January 20th, 2029, Trump is going to go into that ballroom with a stack of hustlers and a crate of Big Macs and lock the door from the inside, okay? But I'm not asking Trump not to run for a third term. Trump's going Trump. What I'm asking is for the Republican Party to be honest for once and tell us whether or not you want this man to be king, okay? I'm tired of edging dictatorship. I'm getting red, white, and blue balls, people, okay? Waiting to find out if our democracy still matters. And do it soon, because right now America is standing at a fork in the road, and we need to know which path to choose, or if we just stick the fork in us because we're done.
So MAGA is trying to say that Obama said that he'd run for a third term too, to try to justify what Trump did. Let's go back and actually hear what he said, huh? Have a good day.
I have to also say that Africa's democratic progress is also at risk when leaders refuse to step aside when their terms end. Now, let me be honest with you. I do not understand this. I am in my second term. It has been an extraordinary privilege for me to serve as the President of the United States. I cannot imagine a greater honor or a more interesting job. I love my work. But under our Constitution, I cannot run again. I can't run again. I actually think I'm a pretty good president. I think if I ran, I could win. But I can't. So there's a lot that I'd like to do to keep America moving, but the law is the law. And no one person is above the law, not even the president.
This Obama, I do. Like his politics or not, you gotta admit, he was the best at the job of being president. The affability, the charm, the man looks good in a suit. Yes, and it sucks for him. He can only do the job he was best at for 8 years. Let him be president other places. The way athletes go to other teams. Dude, the Jets were pumped. They were like, we got Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if Uzbekistan was like, we got Obama? Oh my God. He is going to turn this franchise around. We're going to get Disney Plus.
My daughter was just watching a documentary and I was like cleaning and I just heard at the end Barack Obama started talking and I started sobbing uncontrollably because remember when shit was normal?
I think I finally understand why Donald Trump hates Barack Obama and Michelle Obama so much, and it really has nothing to do with that White House Correspondents' Dinner years ago. It's that America still loves, the world still loves Barack and Michelle Obama. See, last night was an NBA All-Star game, and, well, the Obamas were there, the camera panned to them, and the crowd cheered. Everybody stood up. They got a standing ovation to the point that President Obama stood up and waved at the crowd, which led to more cheering. Meanwhile, Donnie Boy Trump shows up at sporting events and half to 3/4 of the crowd boos, to the point that the same media networks have to put clapping and cheering tracks over it to keep his supporters from attempting to boycott them. So, Donald Trump really hates the Obamas because the world still loves them, as the world has always despised him.
As soon as I put them in the room and I turned around, Obama was standing there, and I was like, "Hey, sir, this is the family of the fallen," and I named them, and he sat down and he let that family cry on his shoulder for a solid 20 minutes, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but 20 minutes of a U.S. president's time one-on-one like that is a lot, right? What I saw was just a human being being compassionate, sympathetic for a family who just had a huge loss. Because there was no cameras in that room. There was nothing there, that he ever,
My daughter was just watching a documentary and I was like cleaning and I just heard at the end Barack Obama started talking and I started sobbing uncontrollably because remember when shit was normal?
Prediction that Trump will run and will have a third term, either as a vice president or in wartime a president can go for a third term. Is this going to be successful, and what can we expect from the midterms?
Yeah, so I think that the powers that be, and they're coming to recognition that for all of Trump's problems, he is a useful idiot. You need a guy like him in order to transition America from a democracy to a technocracy, okay? So all the elite feel this way where, the democracy doesn't really work. If democracy really worked, we wouldn't have Donald Trump as president. And like not only once, but twice, okay? So in 2016, the elite basically came to the conclusion that we can't really trust the people to vote the way we want them to vote. The people aren't really obedient, okay? So the solution to this is to create a technocracy where you have an AI god and where it's an AI surveillance state, and where engineers and bureaucrats and technocrats basically run America to the benefit of the American people, of course, just as they do in China, right? Come to China, look how great things are, right? So they're trying to, basically create China. Like China is the future that they want to emulate. So you need a scapegoat. But you need a scapegoat in order to make this transition happen, right? Who do you blame for destroying democracy? Who do you blame for taking away people's freedoms, including this AI god? You blame Donald Trump, okay? So you put up with him as long as it takes to make this transition from democracy to technocracy. And this is a process that might take 8 years, 10 years, who knows, okay? But it's actually like 2 years. And that's also why Trump is building his ballroom, okay? So I'm not sure if you looked into the ballroom, but it's clearly an AI data center underneath the ballroom that's protected by executive privilege, meaning Congress can never ever ask what's going on underneath the ballroom, okay? So they're basically trying to create God under that ballroom.
Right.
Right? But so you need someone to actually be the scapegoat, to be the tool to make this transition happen, so the historians will say, it was this guy, Donald Trump, who destroyed American democracy, right? So that's why I think he'll get a third term.
Trump revealed today that he believes he has had 3 terms as president. He made this post about everybody should take a cognitive test, which is actually just the dementia test. I just made a post about how ridiculous this whole thing, but one thing that's important to note is that he says, I took the exam 3 times during my 3 terms as president. 3 terms as president? What is he thinking? He's not well. I mean, can his kids please step in and do something and take care of the man? Take care of the country? It's crazy.
So guys, that is what is happening in America currently, and I think it's both good news and bad news at the same time. Now, I do not know why these Trump supporters think that when they put their man ahead to go and vote to vie for presidency for the 3rd term, I do not know what criteria they plan to use to make sure that Obama is not eligible for the same. Now, it goes without saying that if Trump can go for the 3rd time, then it automatically means that former President Obama can also go for the 3rd term. Yeah, and we both know, you and I know that if the two of them decide to be on the polls, they decide to vie for presidency for their 3rd terms each, these guys, that is going to be something that can be very entertaining to watch, because we automatically know who is going to win and who is going to lose. Now, the people of America have complained about Trump for a very long time. We have seen videos of even the people that voted for him, even the people that supported him. The people, like, for example, the MAGA, some of them are coming out to complain about him. They're talking about, we did not know this is the kind of person that he is. We regret our decisions. We should have sought more advice from people that understood these things. People are regretting their decisions. There are black people that voted for him. So there are all these things going on. People are complaining he's not working. He's not caring about the people of America. I thought when you become president, your main agenda, your main activity of the day should be to make sure that the people that you're governing are doing well, yeah? Now, that is to mean that he was supposed to be taking care of people's health, the welfares, the health care, they're talking about food security, school fees for their children. People can barely afford basic things in life. For example, we're talking about housing, we're talking about people just having a roof over their head. Many people in America currently are worried because they're just one paycheck away from being homeless, yeah? Now, with that kind of reality, people are not going to be comfortable. They do not have food. How the hell do you mean that people are now not having food in America? No, those are not things we are used to hearing, yeah? And that has happened during the Trump's time. He has done the most to make America a weird and unsuccessful place. You remember the American dream, growing up, it was everyone's dream to go to America, to live the American dream. And the American dream meant that as long as you have done the prerequisites of what you need to to achieve a good life. For example, you have gone to school, you have succeeded in your academics, you have gone to college, you have finished your college degree or diploma, whatever that you were taking there, you are automatically in for some good job and a good pay and a good life. Yeah, life was stable. The dollar was really the dollar. Now it has come to people's attention that that is not the reality anymore. There's no American dream. Someone said that for you to now believe about the American dream, you have to be asleep, because that's why they actually called it a dream. Maybe they foresaw this. Yeah, Trump has made it so hard for Americans to even like the place that they are living. Most of them are talking about relocating. I don't know to where, but they're thinking they should just be out of America because life has become weirdly expensive. People cannot move from one place to another because they cannot afford fuel. They cannot afford food. They can basically, they have to do, I don't know, 3 to 4 jobs a day for them to afford basic living standards. Yeah, it's just a lot going on, and people are complaining about President Trump. Yeah, there are very many things that are failing. He's failing in even small things that he keeps advertising and promising people. For example, talk about the issue of the phones, the American-made phones that he promised people. And he did not just promise, he asked people to give money, to pledge and to give their money as deposit and wait for the phones. People did that. People gave in millions and millions of dollars waiting for the phones. I think everyone was giving about $100 each for a phone that they have not received until now. Up until now, they have not received those phones. There is no communication. There's nothing. They're not saying anything about it. And the last time people checked, they had actually changed the constitution of that body that was dealing with that case of phones. Then now they have terms and conditions that says that once you have given your deposit, there's no guarantees that you will get it back. So your money is not refundable. No, that is to mean that you have stolen from people. That is basically what it means. Because otherwise, if you have failed to deliver what you promised, then give people back their money. He's not doing that. So those are his supporters, remember. Those are the people that voted him in, and they loved him, and they said all manner of things, never listened to anyone who was against them, and they went ahead to vote for him. He won. He's now the president, and they're regretting. They're talking about he is a liar. He's a criminal. That guy, we did not know this and this about him, but now that we know, we regret our decision, and we hate the fact that we have to live with this for a few more years. Yeah, now that is basically what is happening in America, and I know you have a lot to say about that. What do you think will happen between the Obama and the Trump elections, if it is something that is to happen? And I really hope that it does, because I would like to see the Trump supporters and how they will feel about that. They're uncomfortable because they know if we're talking about Trump versus someone else, he has chances maybe. He has lots of supporters, people that don't learn. But when we're talking about Obama, they're all freaking out. They do not want to imagine that Obama can vie a third term. They do not know that if they apply whatever they want to apply so that President Trump is viable to and eligible to vie for the third term, then it automatically means that the former president Barack Obama is well eligible for the same. Now, that is the one reality check that they are trying to figure out. I don't know what they are planning to do so that it favors President Trump and not President Obama, so that he doesn't vie. I don't know how that is supposed to work out, but what I know from where I'm standing is that if it applies to President Trump, he has run 2 terms. If it applies to him, then definitely and constitutionally it should apply to former President Barack Obama. And yeah, so guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And is this something that you would want? Do you think you're open to having President Barack Obama as your next president in America? And how is that going to look like? How does that feel to you? And what do you think about that? And what happens if President Trump wins? Yeah, because there's also that. Yeah, we have to always be we have to think ahead, because what if, just what if? Yeah, because they can do things. I don't know if it's I do not really believe that it's possible, but you never know about these politicians. They could do anything to make President Barack Obama, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that he's not president anymore, former President Barack Obama, to block him so that he is unable and ineligible to vie, and yet make President Trump eligible for vying. I do not know how that can work, because if it's the same constitution, that should not be allowed. So guys, leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly consider doing that right now. I notice that there are many people that watch my videos a lot. They watch every video that I post, but they forget to subscribe to my channel. Kindly do that so that we help this channel to grow and reach as many people as possible, so that we have our message spread across. So, and for new people on the channel, my name is Furaha, and I'm happy to have you on my channel today. I hope that you keep and stick around for more. Guys, I'll see you on my next one. Bye for now.